Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from CLASH Daytona. My name is Bob Babbitt. We are brought to you by the NASCAR Foundation, Daytona International Speedway, USA Triathlon, Aquasphere, and Varlo. Our next guest, Kieran Lindars, coming off of a win at Challenge Almere, sub 8 hours, 2:42 marathon. That's the real deal.
Yeah, no, it was a really good race, and the run I think took everyone by surprise, including myself.
Did it take you by surprise?
It did indeed. The race, we had Starkovitz up the road, so I tried to catch him, and then I caught him relatively quickly, and then it was hang on for dear life because I think I went out a little bit too fast.
I mean, so the 2:42 is a hell of a marathon.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, was that you done Challenge Almere? You done it. You were sixth there in 19. And how much better were you this time, time-wise?
The first time I did it in 8 hours 17, I believe.
Oh my God!
So yeah, quite a bit. Faster.
What was the difference?
Funnily enough, ITU background.
Yes.
And in order to get my pro license as quickly as possible, because how it works in the UK is we need within 8% of one full distance or 2 races at 4% at 70.3. And because of my ITU background, I had points, so I could go into the European Challenge Almere combined championships with World Triathlon. So I entered it, and I wasn't, because it was just long course and everything was long course to me, I didn't quite realise that it was a full distance.
So you thought you were doing like a 70.3?
So that was my first
lesson
ever long
number
distance.
one.
Yeah, first ever long distance race.
So how long before you figured it out?
I had 10 weeks.
10 weeks
to get ready for it, yeah.
Right. So you up until that point, you thought, okay, I signed up, so I'll do a 70.3. It's sort of double the distance. Then you find out you're doing quadruple the distance.
Well, yes. And
More,
like I said,
yeah.
I was training for the short course racing, so
Right.
I had 10 weeks to then prepare for the longer side race.
Which means getting on a time trial bike, which
Yep.
means all that type of stuff. Yeah. And putting in long hours.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It was a big shock, but I was training quite a lot, so it was just kind of swapping out that speed for the endurance.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge, but yeah, it was really good fun to try a different challenge.
Did you get that point in that race in Challenge Almere where I was like, I don't know how much longer this is a lot of time out here?
Yes, a lot of time, and I think the biggest shift is the nutrition.
Yes.
It's just trying to get in as much as you can to survive, and that was a big shock. Both learning how to take in the amount,
yes,
and then also handling it. And there was a few moments where I had a lot of doubt in myself, but I dug deep, pulled through, and I think, to be honest, it was kind of a life-changing event. I mean, up until that point, I don't think I've ever really done a race where I didn't think that I could actually finish it. It was, it was always about how fast you could finish it,
right,
as opposed to just trying to finish it. And it was a real mental battle. And the one thing that was really nice about, which I think is a big shift, is because it's a challenge for everyone to finish.
Right.
Everyone on course is so supportive. If guys come past you, or if you're in different stages of the run, everyone's cheering everyone on and saying well done, which was a very new environment and was part of the reason why I could pull through. So
when you come here for the first time in 2019, you get 7th.
Yes.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes. Well, it was never particularly planned. I'd had a good race, and they'd asked whether or not I wanted to come over, and I think there was a lot of strong USA guys, but there wasn't too many people from Europe. So
right.
I think they asked a few people, and being that at that Almere race I'd led the swim, and
right.
it caused a little bit of a who is this guy? Because we don't know who he is, yeah. I had a bit of a backing, and I was given the opportunity to race here, and that because it was the format that we're going to be racing at the weekend.
Right.
On Friday. I've done this format, which is the slightly in between distance, which suited me very well because I still hadn't had too much exposure to the longer course racing. Mm-hmm. So that kind of sweet in between kind of showed what I could do a little bit more than what I had shown up until that point.
Was the goal when you first got into this the Olympics?
No, not at all.
You just got into it.
No,
You didn't really know.
So I just how I got into triathlon was I used to run at school, primarily because of my mum. She used to run cross country, and I did the same. And from there, I got scouted to run for the local running track, which I still run with now. My swimming background was because my mum always had a bit of a fear for the water, particularly open water, so got me into lessons, and my learn swim coach at the time put me in contact with a competitive club and said I might be quite good. So I picked it up that way, and then one summer in about 2012, my mum again decided she said, oh, there's this thing called triathlon, and we'd watched a few on TV, not some of the big races, and it was all as a bit of almost cross training for my running at the time.
And you're swimming.
And I did a race, and it was against one of it was kind of like a regional race where the guys turned up, and I was kind of a nobody, and I got close to one of the top guys in our region, which put me into contact with the regional academy, and then from there it just went. So it's been the triathlon has been totally quite a random journey for me.
Mom has been it.
Oh yeah, huge. I mean, both my parents. I mean, they've given up a lot to give me and my brothers the best opportunities that we can, and this is kind of gone wildly out of control. Is probably the way that I'd explain it. It was always just for fun, and again, learning basic swimming skills, just having fun running, and I've just kind of jumped each level, and now we're here today.
Yeah, and when you, like you said, you surprised yourself at Challenge Almere by winning the race and running a 2:42 marathon, and you were chasing Starkey.
Yeah.
When did you catch him?
I caught him about halfway, and I ran, I think it was a 1:16.5 to do that. Yeah. So I think the idea is once I'd caught him, I could then neutralise the race. Right. But that was the first ever time that I was in a race where I was making those sort of decisions. Usually, at least in my history up until this point, I've been around the race, or I might lead the first bit, but it's never been a case of how should I, essentially win or fight for position here. So I think with that, I got a bit carried away and tried to make that catch too quick. Which, in hindsight, I would have probably tried to make it a bit slower. But I knew if I could catch him, I could then sort of neutralise the race. And then if there was any sort of problems later into the race, if I'd hit the wall or any sort of problems that could come up, I would then have a buffer where I could almost bank that time earlier on later in the race, so that I had that if I needed it.
What are your goals here? You're obviously very familiar with this race now.
Yeah, no, my goals here, I mean, there's such a talent pool here at this race. I mean, I'd love to come, top 8, because that's where the prize money goes to. Yeah. But then there's also kind of races within races for me, because top 6 get points towards challenge bonus, and then also as well, I don't have my third scoring PTO race. So this, being such a strong field, could potentially set me up very nicely in terms of my PTO ranking, which then may open up opportunities to race in some of those events, or at least races that I wouldn't usually have access to with my current or racing history. I love it.
Well, best of luck on Friday, man. That's going to be really fun. Good to see you back here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Kieran Lindars has been our guest, everybody. Again, Breakfast with Bob from CLASH Daytona. Hold on. We will be right back.